good morning, everybody. Good morning to Shell as she joins NorCal Sports Network
Oh,
Morning Game Plan.
yes. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And check out that 80s Niners
Look
jacket.
at
I
the
love it.
80s jacket. Look at that.
You know, I had one of those jackets in the 80s. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened to it, though. I don't
If
know
you go
what
on
happened.
eBay, you can get it.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Not they came back. They came back. Starter was like the in thing in the 80s, and then it's like they never fell off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and they're across the board, but all sports. Starter is that jacket. So,
Yeah, the starter jackets. That's right. That's
mhm,
right.
mhm.
Those were in the 80s, they were all over Candlestick
All
Park.
over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, they were. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember that big SF as being as big though. Is that a newer version or was it always
No,
that
this is
big?
the. Remember how the '80s starter was? This is that jacket. So it did
Okay.
have that, the larger emblem on the side, and then the
Mm.
49er lettering in the back. Yeah.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah, it says 49ers on the back. Yeah, spelled out, right?
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we got some people in the house joining us. Joe Bertolucci. Good to see you, Joe, my friend. Joe's been a longtime supporter of NorCal sports and
Oh,
appreciate
there you
him.
go.
Babe Brock's in the house, BC, G Martinez, a few others joining. Thank you guys. This is a newer show, so we're coming on to you live at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. And, we were on last night. And, we won't talk
Mhm.
too much about the Giants this morning because they've lost 3 in a row and they're back to 500. But we'll catch them later tonight on the
Oh,
pregame show and postgame show here on NorCal Sports Network. But, Shell, let's get into what's happening with the Niners and
yeah.
the Brandon Ayuk situation. What
Mm.
does your heart say? I know what your heart says. What does your head tell you that's going to happen? What do you think?
Oh, thinking with my head, they should have done this a long time ago. It should have happened, I guess, right after the Super Bowl, in my honest opinion. Um, there's a lot of blame, there's a lot of scapegoating, normalizing, and interpreting, right? There's a lot of a lot of college
Yeah,
words there. So
yeah,
I mean, after the Super Bowl, you see this person at his locker just crying. You can just tell he really, really wanted this win, and we all did. Um, to lose it the way we lost it was just, I went back and watched it, and it was the most painful thing to watch. But
mm,
through pain comes understanding, right?
right,
In a better, a better perspective, a better grasp. Because when you're watching in that moment, you're watching with emotions, right? You're not watching. Me personally, I'm not watching with common sense at all. I'm just like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, but then when you let time go by and, dare I say it, process this, um, you see things for what they really are, and you see the mistakes, and you really understand why it happened, what did this come from, and then you see these other content creators, which shall remain nameless because I'm not one to badmouth, but at the same time that goes into this, should have done this, could have done this, would have done this, if you did this. It's always that when we lose. But as a Niner fan, I think this fan base is just never satisfied, even if we blow a team up. Could have done
yeah,
this better, could have done that better, you're right. So,
right, right. So, do you think
so
he signs, or do you think they end up trading him?
I mean, if this has been held out for this long, you have to also think too, does he want to pay fines? You know what I'm saying? And
Right. Yeah.
do you
Okay.
really want to? Well, this is the team that you belong to. When you're such a success, I mean, you're averaging almost 18 yards a carry. I mean, you know, granted, not too many touchdowns this season, but he did go over 1,000 yards, which says a lot. And that's what leads me to believe, yes, he will sign.
Yeah. I mean,
There's nothing that's telling me that he won't, other than this is just, the stupidity that you're seeing online, the posts, the nobody wants me, the oh woe's me, I'm Brandon Ayuk and nobody cares. And I mean,
yeah,
if I'm
it's
looking at it from the
all kind of
CEO point of
positive.
view, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, female. That's we need on more female points of view when it comes to sports because
Right.
our you guys females able to think emotionally a lot more than looking at things versus just logically. I mean, logically we see things, but emotionally, I mean, yeah, this is a situation where we're talking a couple of $1 million. Now,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
more when you get into state taxes and those type of things that
Exactly.
play, but do you see the highlights of Devontae Adams with Jimmy Garoppolo in Vegas with the Raiders, and he's like complaining, like, "Get me out of here, or I'm going to get killed, man." It's frustrating. I mean, to an athlete
Hmm.
that is losing and has, I mean, I think of it this way, Shel. If he goes to Pittsburgh,
Oh,
he's probably going to get double covered more, and he's not going to have the production. They're not going to win 12 games. They're probably going to finish 9-8, you know, and fight for the last playoff spot.
right.
And he's likely to miss out on the playoffs.
Right.
And how
Right.
fun can that
Hmm.
be after? I mean, yeah, you get your bag, you get a couple million more maybe, but
Right.
you're never winning. You're not competing for championships. To me, there's a lot to be said with that. And
I agree. Hmm.
I think, and I think, but on the other hand, the Niners are the team that throws the ball the least in the league. They run the ball a lot.
Yep.
It's a
Yep.
lot
Well
of
run team. Yep.
a lot of grinding on a wide receiver to make blocks constantly. It wears your body out. And when
Hmm.
you can beat your guy, like in the Super Bowl, he wasn't part of the game plan much. They didn't throw him the ball enough.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And
Oh boy. Yeah.
I don't know. Babe Rock says we need some bigger receivers. Juwan Jennings type
Well,
guys.
yeah. I could say that. I mean, we could go back to that conversation that you guys touched on with the coach. I'll go there. There's a lot of difference of opinion for if you're pro or against. So my pet name for Shanahan is Kyle SpongeBob SquarePants, and I'm going to choose
What was that again? Kyle SpongeBob
SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah,
SquarePants. Okay. That's a good
think,
one.
I think that fits him perfectly, right? So, am I anti Shanahan? No. Am I pro Shanahan? When he gets his head out of his, you know what? Yes. A lot of this season kind of goes to right here. And if I go back and look at that Super Bowl, you can clearly see it. I think people can go, yeah, it's an ego thing because if you intercept somebody twice and you have 0 points to show for it, that's huge. And then instead of just holding yourself to an accountability that we expect you to as fans, you don't do it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And no matter what the perception is, because we all know perception is based on how you feel, right? Um, and emotion, like you said, it's kind of, to say that Ayuk was pedestrian in the Super Bowl is a compliment. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
can we be a little bit more prepared? Because when you see Shanahan at this presser, you could just tell, yeah, Vegas was his life. But that wasn't a time for Vegas. That was a time
Yeah.
to do the job. And it's like,
It's I look back at that situation and we
mhm,
hear all kinds of theories, the
right,
big thing
right.
today is conspiracy theories and all this.
Mm,
Did the league want the Chiefs to win with
mm,
Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift, and the Niners get to Vegas and they
yeah,
get the soft field at the University of uh, at UNLV. They're playing on
UNLV, yeah,
and the Chiefs are playing at the practicing at the Raiders facilities. And did that have anything to do with possibly Dre Greenlaw's Achilles going out? Who knows all that stuff. But
right,
I mean, it's it's when you watch the game and like you said, you rewatched it. I never went back and rewatched it because it was too painful to watch. But you see
Oh,
some of the
of
plays
course.
that are drawn up by Andy Reid that the winning touchdown in overtime, wide open, and the 49ers have a chance to score a touchdown and they blow an assignment on the offensive line, and Ayuk's wide open in the back of the end zone, and Purdy doesn't have time because of the pressure. And it's just mishaps like that you just see happen, and it's almost like Kyle gets a little bit too cute and tries to figure things out and do something
Mhm.
different instead of just playing, max coverage at the line, instead of trying to, do some type of, you know, uh, just switching things up, trying to make it look,
Yeah,
fool the defense one more time. You've got the playmakers,
exactly.
and yet, they
Nothing
just
comes
didn't
from
they
it,
didn't they
right?
didn't show up. I mean, the KC defensive
Yeah,
backs really shut down the Niners receivers. My concern with the
yeah,
Niners, and especially, and I think it might be why they drafted Pearsall, is Debo has had a hard time separating with
correct.
good corners. And he's not your prototypical wide receiver with great lateral movements. He's more of a bull, you know.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah,
they've got to find a way to get, guys that run great routes. I mean, Ayuk runs great routes,
yeah,
and because you had Debo in there and he wasn't 100% playing, he wasn't playing 100% from that injury he had in the playoffs.
right.
Was that against Detroit or Green Bay? He hurt himself. I'm trying to remember.
I
Um,
want to say Green Bay
I think it was
because
Green Bay. Yeah,
Green Bay happened before
you're
Detroit,
right.
so
Yeah, I think
I'm
he got.
safely
Yeah,
assuming that it was
yeah. I
Green
don't
State.
think he was 100%, but you got to have a second receiver that is able to get open easily. And I think that's what they're thinking in Pearsall, is that Pearsall will be the guy that's able to get open and be that possession, the kind of guy that, Puka Nakua is for the Rams, the guy that you can check down to that's always going to be open. Maybe it's not a
Understood.
deep type threat or middle of the field, but a guy that can, you know, 10 to 12 yards, he'll have that quick opening. But we'll see. Pearsall's not having he's having a
Yeah,
heck of a
I
time
was just gonna
staying on the
say,
field,
right. Yeah, this
just
is your
staying
first
healthy.
draft pick, and yeah, right. And now it's a non-football related injury,
Right.
and the Niners are notorious for picking bad picks in the first round of the draft. So
Right.
starting
Right.
the history to me, because I know I'm in a chat full of straight shooters. So I'll say this. Your chatter's tough. I'm just like that's why I'm not looking at it. I'm scared.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
Me
good. We're
being
good.
scared, right?
So
I'll say this. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, I think the thing is I think they got to get this settled this week. You can't have a season where today's the 14th of August. The season opener is
Right,
September
right.
9th, less than a month away. You're coming up on 3.5 weeks. You'd ideally like to see everything settled with 3 full weeks to go. Ayuk getting his reps in camp, Trent Williams getting in there, and get this thing focused on it's
Yeah,
championship or bust
please.
this year. It really
Yeah,
is.
this is 30 years. This year is
Yeah.
30 full years,
Wow,
and
94. That's right. 94
yeah,
was it. 30 year
isn't that crazy?
anniversary. Wow.
30 years this went by, right, in a flash, and we
And we've
can
lost
it's just a
three Super Bowls in those
three,
30 years. That's one every 10
and it
years.
and it's you're right, exactly. So, do we want to be that team that I always say that we're not new to winning, right?
Right.
We're true to losing, and that hurts
Yeah.
because one thing we were never true to was losing. Yes, we had our losses, and yes, we had our bad games. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think in the between 2004 or five and now, that's almost 20 years that
Yeah.
we've just seen this downward spiral. And yes, we've had our, Detroit was pretty much our Super Bowl. It was our finest.
Right.
Um, to see the second half, just a literally a full 360 from one half to the next.
Right.
And I'm one of those people where if I see them doing bad, I'm like, I can't take this. I can't watch this. I gotta go. I gotta leave. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. And it's like, if you don't get it now, do you finally hold yourself to an accountability, or do we keep scapegoating? Do we keep normalizing, rationalizing? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who says what or what content creator gets what source. You know what I'm saying? Because now
Right.
it's all my sources have told me this and that, and it doesn't matter. We're right back where we are right now.
Yeah.
And like you said, September 9th is rapidly approaching. So do we finally just come to the table and put our big boy boxers on and so and just say,
Yeah.
let's work this out. We need you. You need us. To me, that's the bottom line. You both need each other. So the sooner you come to the table and just say, hey, let's get this ink to paper and let's just move on, because the social media is going to drag this under the mud they already
Oh
have.
yeah. You don't. Yeah. That's
Right.
exactly
7 months of whatever you want to, take it and run with it. Right. So
right.
what do you do with that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's a waste of time. Why post when you could just go to the source?
Right.
Why do all this talking and stories on Instagram and Twitter and whatever, the millions of social media outlets that you have, right?
Right.
When you could have just went to the person that you had a problem with.
Yes.
Clearly, it ain't us. It's not the media, right? I don't want to say that you have a problem with Kyle or John, but the problem is there. And that's the source that you need to go to and just say, hey, let's put this head to bed,
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I been thinking about this, and a lot of people say, how long are the 49ers going to go with Kyle after not winning a Super Bowl? What do you think? How many more years does Kyle have if he doesn't win a Super Bowl with the Niners? How many more years do the Niners stay with him? If they is it 1, 3, 5? Is it, what do you think?
Oh boy. Oh God. That's such a double-edged sword, because I feel like without this person, we don't even get halfway this far.
Correct.
But here's where the double-edged sword comes in. There was a score in the Super Bowl, and he was an offensive coordinator, and that score was 28-3. And you let somebody from the Bay Area engineer one hell of. You don't do that. You keep going. I'm not saying we have to be 55-10. Does that sound familiar?
Oh yeah.
Right? So you don't have to do that. But I'm just saying, if you're 28-3, 10 more points and you got it. That's it. Your defense was great. Offense was great. Matt Ryan was killing it. And it was just like the key word in that sentence being was. Can't do that. So to answer your question, I feel like, I want to say no more than 3. That's a stretch, because
I
I
would give
feel
him,
like
10 years. 2017 was his first year. So this 24, 25, 26 would complete 10 years. This is year 8, right?
Yes.
See,
Yes.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, this is year 8.
Yes,
So maybe 2 to 3 more years. Okay. Interesting. I could kind of see that. It's Andy Reid couldn't get it done in Philly, right? And
exactly. And they did, and they took care of that
yeah,
quick. You see what I mean? And
yeah.
it makes me go, okay, is Jed York finally going to be this guy? And go, okay, we've gone to, in the last, say, 3 years, we've gone to 2 and we've lost. Huge no. This is not the 49er team. This is not the 49er way. We have 5 and we didn't lose not any one of them. Yes, some of them were close. Some of them were a battle. I'm not going to lie. But then again, you have somebody named Bill Walsh, rest his soul. And Bill Walsh didn't take that shit. You know what I mean? It was like, do your job. You know what I'm saying?
This is the question I was thinking too, as I was asking the question. Mark Graves poses, who would you get that's better? That's the tough thing right now. There's always somebody that's out there that's up and coming, that's hot. But I mean, I've got Kyle, and we'll be doing a show on this at some point. Bora, Los, and myself, and maybe we'll get you in on this. But I've got Kyle.
Oh God.
I've got Kyle in the top 3 4 coaches in the NFL. I don't know who's better, you know. I mean, Harbaugh's back in. You got Andy Reid, obviously, who's got to be the top dog.
Right.
After that, maybe it's Jim Harbaugh. But he hasn't been able to get it done since they beat the Niners. And I'm trying to think of some other top coaches that, I mean, you got Sean McVay down in LA. There's,
Oh boy.
but Kyle's had his number for the most part, except the most important game, the NFC Championship.
And then they would go on to win in their own house, right? Like
Right. Yeah. Man,
slap in
we
the face.
had that game too. That was another
Yes, we did.
game they did.
Yes,
You know, that was the game Chwaski Tart. I got it. It's like a center
I
fielder.
got it. I don't got it.
I got it. I don't got it. Oh
No,
man.
exactly.
So, you know, it's
Yeah, who do you get? That's a great
yeah.
question.
And
Right
you know,
now,
I don't think that now's the time to be having that conversation really as far as this year.
it's
No, I don't know
well, it's
anybody
like
better.
you can't, right? Like you can't have that conversation right now because I think the focus now is it's been BA this whole time, and then you also have this gauntlet of talking about Shanahan at the same time. Every year in the off season, our squad has given us nothing but fits, and then when we are on, they give us fits. How do you go 5-0 to 5-3 just like that, and then you bounce back and like you just have this moment of epiphany, like okay, we need to get our shit together, right? And then and then it's like you go on and go 12-5, which was awesome. But me, I'm greedy. I want to take our division. I don't want to go 5-1. I want to
Right.
go 6-0. Period. You know what I mean? And we're not, we don't buy NFC champions gear. We buy Super Bowl champions gear. That's why my credit
That's
card is
right.
burning a hole in my pocket because I'm just like, I have a Super Bowl jacket with it 5 times and the patches and everything. I'm like, I just need the 6 patch. I'm not asking much. But
Yeah, there you
apparently
go.
we are because if it's been 30 years, right? We're asking for it's an order that's just ridiculously too high of an ask. That makes no sense to
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting ride
me.
this year. I mean, I could see them going 12-5, 13-4. I could also see them going like 10-7
Oh,
because the
oh boy,
way if they get any injuries, key injuries, if guys aren't able to bounce back, and with all the distractions and coming off of a tough
great.
Super Bowl loss, I don't know what's worse, the Super Bowl hangover or the Super Bowl loss. I think it's
Both.
yeah, they're
A little bit
both
of both.
bad because
Yeah.
but I mean the Chiefs, they're going for 3 in a row, and it hasn't been done. I'm trying to think, has anybody ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row?
I don't think so. I think they would be the first ones, and
Let me think.
I think
I'm,
it's
I'm
scripted.
it,
Like
it,
their fairy tale's already scripted. It hasn't happened yet.
I'm trying to think.
Keyword
Is
being yet.
in the chat, has anybody won 3 in a row? I mean, Miami almost won 3 in a row. They won 2 in a row. They were in 3 in a row. Packers won the first 2 and never won 3 in a row. Patriots never won 3 in a row. Did they? No. So I'm trying to think. Let's see. Nope. Mark Graves says nope. Yeah, I didn't think so. Niners, I think, could have won 3 in a row. They won in 88, 89, and then Roger Craig, the fumble against the Giants,
God.
losing 15-13 on a last-second field goal. All they had to do is hold on to the ball, and they were going, and they would have beat Buffalo.
Talking about it, that is so funny.
Although they would have had Steve Young going in that game because Joe Montana got hurt in the NFC Championship game.
Yes, it
But
did. That's right.
that
I
would
mean,
have been
I'm calling. Yeah, right. Like I'm calling this season, and I'm one of those people where I'm pretty much done. Uh, I'm calling this season 14-3, and that is it's a tall order. And it's a
wow.
game that I'm going to and I'm going to a game this year, and I already called that game a win. So let's see if I'm right. Of
Which
all
one's that?
games, I'm going to October 20th against none other than the Chiefs, and I
Oh,
did call it a win.
wonderful.
I know, crazy of me, right? So,
All right. All right. I could see it. I think if the
yeah,
Niners stay healthy,
yeah,
if they stay healthy, I could see them, like you said, 13-4, 14-3. Health is going to be the critical thing. And so I've got to look a little bit closer at the roster situation. This whole BA thing's got to get resolved,
yeah.
and we'll see exactly what happens. But hey, we're getting toward the end of the show here. I want to have you promote a little bit what you do on
Oh, no.
Instagram. I've seen some of the amazing
Oh,
videos
my
that you've
goodness.
put together, the compilation of things. Go ahead, tell
Yeah.
everybody what you do. You're
So
a hobby. I know it's a
yeah,
hobby.
yeah. So I've been doing photography now for about 7 or 8 years, very active. Always wanted to get back to it because I had a camera and then I didn't, and life happens.
Right.
So anyway, now I'm like very, very, very active in doing it. So I put my website in the chat. Nothing's for sale or anything like that. But if you really, really want something, I'm on IG. Holler at me. I do have a 49er inspired calendar. I do have a YouTube page, same name, and the calendar is there, ready to go for 2025. If you want, you're interested, like I said, I've got this following me on Instagram. So that's my only social media because I just everything else. Uh, but yeah, so I do a lot of during the season. I did a lot of different videos. You guys are on it too. But yeah, shout out to the content creators. You guys never took a day off this entire time. It's rough. It's rough being a Niner fan. It's a second and third job, just like being a Giants fan. Yikes. They're both being a Bay Area sports fan is a blessing and a curse. Um,
Yeah. You know what?
but
Let's
nonetheless, love them both always.
awesome. Let's take a
Yeah,
look
check
at
it out. Let me know what you
let,
think, and
let's take a look at it
more.
right here, everybody. Take
Oh
a
my
look.
gosh, there we go.
Look at that. Welcome to Shell's Photography. Let me hit the accept there.
Why it does that? I don't know why it does that.
Yeah.
Guys,
Ooh, look at that Coit Tower. Look at
yeah,
that.
that's me. That's
Guys,
me.
look at all this stuff, guys. Look at the
There's
photography here. Oh, let me know if you have any questions. Okay. I'll ask later. There we go. Look at oh wow. I love
Yeah,
that.
there's different tabs at the top.
Look at these
Me
oh
doing what
look
I
at
do best, doing what I
yeah.
love to do. Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Look at that,
That
guys.
is Lake Tahoe. Yep, that's Lake Tahoe.
Lake
California side.
Tahoe. Oh, I love Tahoe. We used to go there all the time as a kid.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
bridge is this? This is the
Martinez, Vallejo, Martinez.
okay, yes. Yeah. My
Oh, you can walk.
my
I didn't know you could walk it. I was like,
yeah, I got
thank
family in
you.
Martinez.
Okay, it's okay. Right near me. I'm
Oh,
in Pleasant.
that's
Yeah.
Oakland or SF? No, that's SFO.
So yeah.
Yeah, I see the background there. Yeah.
And then there's, like I said, there's other tabs with other pictures. So
Oh, look at this, guys. You got to check this out. The
thank you so much.
the link is up there right there on the screen through shellslens.com. Let me see. I thought we got let's check out more of San Francisco. Do you have didn't you do some videos of the Niners
I
and
did.
stuff?
It's on my yeah. So I have it. It's on my YouTube page. So there's a lot of videos. There's a lot of Dan is on them. You're on two of them. So
Oh,
if
okay.
you
You got
if you just go on YouTube and then just type Red Jet Show, you'll see it. So there's several videos. No
wow.
content, no shows, no nothing like that.
Well,
Not
look at
any
that
sort.
photo. Look, guys, check this out. This is awesome. This is beautiful stuff.
Thank you so
So
much.
I want
Aw.
everybody in the chat to go to www.throughshells plural shellslens.com through shells lens. Some pretty cool stuff. So
Thank you so much.
that is
Yeah,
awesome. Well, that's about
yeah.
all the time we have this morning, guys. We are going to be back tonight at 6:15. Pre-game show, and then right after the ball game at approximately 9:30 will be the Giants post-game show, all heard right here on NorCal Sports Network, everybody. So it was great having Shell join us. You'll see her here on mornings at a couple days a week, hopefully, and we appreciate you guys being here again. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and let your friends know about us. We're heard all over social media here on YouTube, X, also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're all over the place. But thanks again for joining, everybody. And we will see you tonight, right, Shell? 6:15?
Yes, see you then.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy your Wednesday.
Bye.